A 9-year-old girl walks into a convenience store in East Palo Alto. She is crying. She is scared. And the first thing she says is not, "Call the police." It is the opposite. "Please do not call the cops." That is how the public first heard that Jeannette Tamayo was alive. 3 days earlier, she had come home from school in San Jose, California. A man followed her into the house. When her mother and brother arrived soon after, he attacked them, handcuffed Jeannette, and forced her into a car. For most adults, the next 3 days would have been impossible to think through. Jeannette was 9, but inside that fear, she made a plan. She watched. She remembered turns. She talked to the man holding her. She tried to become, in his mind, a person instead of an object. And when he let her watch television, she noticed something she could use. This is the Jeannette Tamayo case, not a story about a child being fearless, a story about a child being terrified and still thinking. On June 6, 2003, according to ABC News, Jeannette was coming home from school when a man followed her into her San Jose home. Her mother and brother arrived not long after. ABC reported that both were badly beaten. Jeannette was handcuffed and put into a box in the back seat of a car. A later CNN transcript, aired June 9, described the public search as it was still unfolding. Neighbors were watching. Police had surveillance footage from nearby, but the suspect had not yet been identified. CNN reported that the man was believed to be in his 30s or early 40s, about 5'5" with dark hair. The car was described as a late 1980s or early 1990s 4-door Honda Accord or a similar vehicle. That is the hard thing about some abduction investigations. You can have terror, you can have witnesses, you can even have a partial image and still not have the one thing that lets police move fast enough: a name, a plate, or a fixed location. Jeannette was taken to a house. ABC reported she was handcuffed in an upstairs bedroom, threatened, and sexually abused over 2 days. We are not going to dwell on those details. The important part of this story is what she did next. She later told ABC that she knew she could not overpower him, so she tried something else. Quote, "I had to get his trust." That line is easy to misunderstand. It was not affection. It was not forgiveness. It was survival. Santa Clara County Deputy District Attorney Matt Breaker, who prosecuted the case, told ABC that killers often dehumanize their victims. He said Jeannette kept interacting with her abductor and that the interaction may have helped keep her alive. Every step of the way, he said, she became a real person to him. Think about what that means for a 9-year-old. She was angry. She said she wanted to punch him. She wanted to hit him. But she understood somehow that showing all of that anger might not get her home. So she spoke to him like a normal person. She told him about her future. She told him about her family. She stayed alert. And as he began to trust her, ABC reported that he removed her handcuffs and let her move more freely around the house. That was not freedom, but it was a crack in the locked door. Then came the television. ABC reported that when the abductor let Jeannette watch TV, she heard something about testing on bunnies and people for asthma. She decided to use it. She told him she had asthma and a disease. She told him she would die without her medicine. Authorities were not certain that the asthma story was the single reason he let her go. But soon after, he dropped her off on a street corner. A CNN transcript from June 9 describes what happened next. A convenience store owner said a little girl came in crying and scared. She asked to use the phone. She was panicky and had trouble dialing. The owner helped her call a San Jose number. He asked how long she had been missing. At first, she said 1 day. Then she said 3 days. He asked how old she was. She said 9. And he realized she was the missing girl from San Jose. That moment is often remembered as the escape, but Jeannette was not finished. ABC reported that after police picked her up and took her for medical care, she was soon reunited with her family. Then she helped investigators do the thing that made the case prosecutable. She remembered the turns. After being handcuffed, assaulted, threatened, and moved through streets she could not control, she still carried a map in her head. She led police back to the house. Matt Breaker told ABC to survive that and recall where the turns were, how far they were, was an amazing act. Police found David Montiel Cruz, then 26, preparing to flee. Jeannette's testimony later helped lead to his conviction. ABC reported that a judge sentenced Cruz to more than 100 years in prison. The title of this video says Jeannette used true crime skills. That is the viral version of the story. A child who had seen enough crime shows to understand she needed to stay observant, build trust, and leave investigators a trail. The documented version is more specific and more powerful. She did what survival experts tell people to do, but she did it as a child, in real time, without a script. She humanized herself. She gathered information. She invented a medical reason her captor could understand, and when she got out, she gave police what they needed. That is not luck by itself. That is presence of mind under pressure that most people never have to imagine. There is one more thing this case should not become. It should not become a neat lesson that children can outsmart dangerous adults if they just watch the right shows. That would be unfair to children and unfair to victims who do not get the same chance. Jeannette survived because she was resourceful. She also survived because a captor made a decision, because a store owner helped her, because police followed the lead, and because her family fought to keep her alive long enough for that chance to exist. The responsibility for what happened sits with the adult who abducted and assaulted her. The credit for her survival belongs to Jeannette. When people talk about this case now, they often focus on the cleverness of the asthma story. But the deeper skill was memory. She remembered who she was when someone was trying to reduce her to fear. She remembered the turns. She remembered enough to get back home, and then enough to send police back to the place where she had been held. That is why the Jeannette Tamayo case still stays with people. Not because it is sensational, because a child found a way to think inside the worst moment of her life. If this story matters to you, please like and subscribe for more.